Come with me back in time to about 6 months or so ago when this first arrived in its original packaging. Hello world, my name is Matt Spa and I have a new toy to unbox. This is the Clar Illumi-Max 300 and it is the big brother to the Clar Illumi-Max 120, which I use quite a bit. Inside the padded case, which is fairly nice, we have a manual, a strap, a 3-pin power cable, an XLR style, but it's 5-pin AC cable. The remote has an on-off switch, a menu button, and plus and minus controls. We have a very nice controller. DMX in and out, a control wheel for brightness, and then we can change the channel, turn the unit on and off, antennas on the side to aid reception from the remote. We have the 5-pin out, the 3-pin in, and a small toggle switch to go between battery and mains power. This also has a strap on it. The power supply has a strap, the AC power in, 3-pin DC power out, and an on-off switch, a protective cover. And last but not least, we have the fixture. It appears that this reflector is dented. Every Clar Illumi-Max light that I've bought has been dented in that way. It has the same aluminum yoke with thumb screw locking pin. It has the input that comes from the controller. And pretty good size light. 2 fans on top. Bowens S-mount. And there we have the LED. Let's take a look at how all of this kind of goes together. You have the fixture, you have the power supply, you have the controller, and then this is just the obligatory dented reflector. And then you have some cables. The first thing we have to do is get power from the wall to the power supply. This end, it goes into the wall, and then this end goes directly here into the power supply. The next thing we have to do is get power from the power supply to the controller. This 3-pin XLR type cable positively locks into place. The other end goes into the controller, and it is important that this little toggle switch, I hope you can see it, is in the adapter position, not the battery position. If it's in battery position, you can, of course, run this off of V-mount batteries. This cable has 5 pins on one end and 4 on the other. This positively locks into the controller and then goes into the bottom of the light where it also positively locks. So that's it. We've brought power from the wall to the power supply, from the power supply to the controller, allowing us to change our brightness, and then from there into the fixture itself. That unboxing was shot about 6 months ago when this first arrived, and 6 months seems like a reasonable amount of time for me to have lived with a piece of gear to be able to offer some opinions that have some integrity. It's also just after tax time in the United States, which means I had to look at all my receipts. And when I looked at what I paid for this and then thought about all the work that I had done with it in that period of time, I realized that it was a crazy good deal, and I thought I'd buy myself another one. I went out to Adorama's site to do that, and lo and behold, this thing has gone up $150 since I bought mine. So part of this review is to give some opinions about this light. Part of it is to answer the question, at $600, is it as good a deal as it was at $450? The short version is, at $450, this is a super crazy, ridiculous good deal. At $600, I still think it's a pretty good deal. This is not going to be some in-depth review where I shine the light at a wall and take color readings and do all that other kind of stuff. This is some impressions to just help you hopefully make a decision about maybe buying this light. The 300 is the big brother to the Clar Illumi-Max 120. I have one here. Isn't it cute? The Clar Illumi-Max 120 is a fantastic light in my opinion. It is well made, it is quiet, it is bright, it comes with a cool case and a remote, it is bi-color, it has great flexibility in terms of how bright you make it or what color you make it. I have a pair of these and I think I can say with complete honesty that I've used them on every single production I've done since I bought them. So I'm obviously a fan. The 300, I'm just as much a fan of. It is brighter, of course. It is bigger, of course. If it has one drawback, it is the power supply. The 120 uses a tiny little AC, DC, almost, brick, and it makes no noise. It even has a little clip on the back. You can clip it into the V-mount battery holder on the controller. So it makes this nice little package. The 300 needs more power, so it has a more substantial power supply. But it also has to have a fan in it to keep it cool. I don't think there's any way for me to give you an accurate idea of how loud this fan is. I put a dB meter on it. It was 15 dB louder in this space right here with it on than it was with it off. Trying to bring a microphone down to this thing or trying to be real quiet and let you hear it, none of that is accurate. And so I apologize that I can't be a little bit more specific about how loud this is. I will say that if I put this light or this power supply behind the light in my productions, and I usually try to get it as far away as possible, I have never heard it picked up by either shotgun mics or lavalier mics. And a lot of the work that I do is documentary style, it's interview, little bit of commercial work and kind of small film. But the noise of this has never been a problem, but it is something that's worth mentioning. Here is just some really quick tests to just kind of show you the quality and the output of this light. The light is 80 inches from the subject and it's about 30 degrees off center pointing toward the guitars. Aperture is f8, shutter speed 1/50th of a second, and ISO is at 250. There is nothing on the light. That is the bare LED. With the reflector on, we can drop the ISO to 160. Everything else is the same. When we put that dome on, we lost one stop. So if I bring the ISO up to 320, you can get an idea of the quality of light. That is single layer of diffusion in a softbox. This light is aimed at the Aperture 300. There can be no question. The Aperture 300 Mark I is, I believe, about $800 US right now, and it's the end of March of 2020. The Mark II is $1,100. So at $600, this is definitely cheaper. I don't have the Aperture, so I can't do an apples to apples comparison. My guess is that the Aperture is probably a little bit better built. It's probably a little bit more robust. But I will say this, for somebody who does what I do, which is a lot of location stuff where I have to travel, I have to move around, I have to be very flexible, and I have to be very lightweight, this is an awesome performer. So, do I think you should buy this light? I have no idea. I don't know what kind of stuff you shoot. I don't know how much money you have. If you have money like I have, which is, around $600 to buy a nice, powerful key light, and you're looking for something that has a good case and a remote and is easy to tote around, yeah, I think you should buy this light. I hope that in some way that was helpful. You know the drill. Subscribe and hit the thumbs up and ring the bell. And I love comments, and I really love it when you tell two friends. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in the next one.